Femi, you don't approve?
This idea that we'll decide every 2.5 years whether or not it's right to send them back to those countries. A couple of years ago, the Home Office said that refugees from Yemen could go back to Yemen because it was safe to go back to Yemen, while bombs that were made in the UK were still being used to blow up civilian infrastructure in Yemen. So the idea that we can trust that the government won't make political decisions and decide, yeah, it's safe to go back, whilst we're still actively involved in those conflicts, isn't something I really trust, especially given that right now our policy is not to have a safe asylum route for people coming from places such as Gaza.
But if you can trust the government, surely on paper, for example, Syria might be getting safer. The guy who was leading Syria was in the White House a couple of days ago. So if Syria is getting safer, people from Syria could go back there.
Well, again, safer versus safe, that is a question to be asked. But definitely, given that we're not taking people from Gaza right now, whilst bombs made in the UK, whilst weapons made in the UK are still being used to commit genocide in Gaza, again, this idea that we have no responsibility towards these people is the issue. If the government wants to fully clamp down on the channel, have even the Navy and really shut down that access, that's fine, as long as you create safe and legal routes for people to actually come and claim asylum in the UK. But right now, our government is facilitating humanitarian crises all across the world, whilst not being willing to create routes for people that are fleeing those crises that we're partly responsible for to come to the UK.
Is that how you see it, Luke?
Disgusting.
No, it's not. And I mean, look, we haven't seen the full package yet. I think Shabana is going to announce it to Parliament this afternoon. But I think, as we understand, one of the key parts of the plan, alongside what the government will say is the sort of hardest immigration and asylum rules of modern times, will be creating new capped, safe and legal routes. And I agree with Femi there that you have to have both. This country has always been an open, tolerant and generous country. But I think the reason we're having this debate is that the public can tell that the pace and scale of illegal migration is out of control and it's unfair and it's placing huge pressure on communities. And we have to find a way of resolving the issues. Otherwise, and I think this is what the argument both Shabana and the Prime Minister are making, is if the Labour government doesn't get a grip on this, in the same way the Tories didn't get a grip on it, they will be voted out of Parliament at the next election.
But I heard one of your rebel MPs, Rachel Maskell, because clearly you've already got rebels on this, saying, how on earth can you make a life here if you have to wait 20 years to get settled status, Luke?
Well, we haven't seen the full plans. My understanding
that is the plan.
Well, my understanding is there will be routes for people who contribute to society, whether that's through work and learning.
Femi, what do you think?
Yeah, this idea that because Shabana Mahmood was saying at the weekend that illegal immigration is creating division. No, it is the rhetoric around illegal immigration that is causing division. Because the thing is, we all agree nobody wants people dying in the Channel. Everybody thinks that this issue should be managed and that we should have a safe way for people to actually get here and claim asylum, so it's organised so that it actually works. But when you have people such as the Reform Party and now Labour acting as if the biggest problem facing the UK is small boats in the Channel, when the UK is facing record levels of poverty that could be addressed by this government, but they're choosing not to. They could do a 2% wealth tax on wealth of over £10 million. They choose not to. They could rejoin the single market, which given that Brexit is costing the average household £1,000 a year. There are ways that they could actually improve the lives of everybody in the country, but they're choosing not to, and they're still pushing this right-wing narrative that the main problem that people are facing in this country is small boats in the Channel. That is what's dividing this country.
Thank you very much, indeed. Femi Olawale, writer for The Independent.